The light beneath my door disappeared for a few seconds, and when it came back, my door was open. A woman was standing in the hallway. She wasn't a nurse. She was wearing a hospital gown and nothing on her feet, and she was very thin. Her gray hair hung down around her face. At first, I thought she was another patient who had wandered into the wrong room. I said, "Are you okay?" And she didn't answer. She was looking at my wrist. I reached for the call button, but before I could press it, she said, "That isn't your name." Her voice was dry and quiet. I pulled my wrist beneath the blanket, and the woman stepped further into the room. She kept her eyes on my arm, and I told her she had the wrong room. She stopped beside the foot of the bed, and then she said my full name. Not Margaret's, but mine. I had no idea how she knew it. I pressed the call button and nothing happened. No light and no sound. The woman started moving around the side of the bed, slowly. She kept saying my name under her breath. I backed as far against the headboard as I could and started yelling for someone in the hallway. She reached the side of the bed and held out her hand. Her fingernails were dark underneath, like she had been digging through dirt. She said, "Give it back." I didn't know what she meant. And then she reached for the wristband with my name on it, and before she touched me, the older nurse appeared in the doorway behind her. The woman in the gown stopped, and the nurse looked at my wrist and said, "You took it off." I told her the other nurse had removed it, and she didn't look at me. She was staring at the woman beside my bed. The woman slowly turned around, and neither of them moved for a few seconds. And then the lights went out. I screamed, and something grabbed my wrist in the dark. It pulled so hard that the band cut into my skin. And then I heard the older nurse say, "Not this one." The lights came back on, and both women were gone. My door was closed again, and the call button started working, and two nurses came running into the room. I told them there had been a woman beside my bed, and they searched the room, the bathroom, and the hallway, and nobody found her. There was nowhere she could have hidden. I showed them my wrist, and there were red marks around it where something had grabbed me. The nurse who had removed the wrong wristband checked the trash, and it was empty. She told me she had thrown it away herself, but it was gone. I kept asking about Margaret Vale until one of the nurses finally looked the name up. A woman with the name had died in the hospital years earlier. She had been in the same room, and they wouldn't tell me anything else. I demanded to be discharged the next morning and left as soon as someone could pick me up. Nobody at the hospital believed what I saw, but I know that nurse changed my wristband for a reason, and I still wonder what would have happened to me if I had left it on. Anyway, good luck sleeping tonight.